my beautiful lovelies, it's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today we are going to be making the easiest ooey gooey cheese sauce using an ingredient that is interesting and 100% unconventional. We are going to be using Alka-Seltzer. Have you ever heard of Alka-Seltzer? Perhaps you have not. These are little tablets that you drop into water that fizz, and you take it as something to help you with indigestion or an upset stomach. I have actually never taken them before, but it's considered I guess you would categorize this as a medication, even though the active ingredients are citric acid, which is what gives things sourness in sour candies, for example, and sodium bicarbonate, which is the scientific name for baking soda. So we have an acid-base reaction with the baking soda and the citric acid, and it creates little fizziness, and that's supposed to kind of calm your belly. We are going to be using the non-aspirin version. There's no pain relief in this. This is just the original non-aspirin formulation, and that is really important if you're going to make this recipe. Also, you want to find it in original and not the flavored version, because then your cheese sauce is going to taste like lemon lime potentially, which we don't want. Unless you want that, then by all means, but let's stick with the original. So this recipe comes from Sweta Sivakumar over at Serious Eats. I'll put a link down below to the original. This recipe is absolutely genius because it's all about science. I love food science. I love science in general, but food science in particular, I really love because I really enjoy eating. And then I learn about science while I learn about eating and making things. It's such a great way to learn. So what's going on here, and why are we using Alka-Seltzer to create a gooey cheese sauce? Well, first of all, if you try to make a gooey cheese sauce with just regular old cheese and combine it with milk or water and heat it up, you'll find that it turns into a clumpy mess. Why is that? Well, if you saw my 2-ingredient mozzarella cheese video, I'll put a link down below to that, you'll know that cheese is the protein from the milk, and we've extracted it from the milk by using some sort of coagulant, either rennet or some sort of acid like vinegar, pulling out all those proteins into a solid, leaving behind the whey or the water, and that solid part is the cheese. So we have a mass of protein. So if we heat it up, the proteins tighten even more, and it's really difficult to get it to melt into the water because it's a solid mass of protein. It also has fat and water do not mix, so you get lumps. You get liquid and you get lumps of cheese. So how do they make cheese sauces if you're making mac and cheese? Well, you'll need some kind of emulsifier. Oftentimes it's butter and flour mixed together to make a roux, and that kind of eases things and makes a sauce. So another way to get the cheese to flow and mix with liquids, whether it be milk or water, is to use sodium citrate. That's what they use in the food industry. In fact, that's what they use to make American style cheese. American processed cheese food contains sodium citrate. So if you look at this slice of Velveeta cheese slices right here, this is processed American cheese. You'll see in the ingredients right here, sodium citrate. So from my understanding, the sodium in the sodium citrate is really attracted to the calcium in the cheese, and it allows the cheese to be broken up so that water can enter it and it becomes really fluid. General science, chemistry people don't come after me, but that's my general understanding of it. At any rate, what happens when we add Alka-Seltzer to the water, the baking soda, and the sodium citrate form H2O, water, carbon dioxide, gas, fizzy gas, and sodium citrate, the ingredient that's used in the food industry to create melty, ooey, gooey cheese. Genius. So in summary, this plus a little bit of water plus a little bit of butter to make things a little bit richer, shredded cheese will yield the most beautiful ooey gooey, luscious, homemade cheesy whizzy sauce at home in less than 5 minutes. Sounds marvelous, right? That's why I'm here. We're going to test it out and see if it's true. Alrighty, let's go ahead and get started. Cheese, homemade cheese whiz, homemade cheese whiz. So besides the whole food science-y thing, what I really love about the potential of this recipe is that you could use any cheese that you like. Cheese whiz is delicious, don't get me wrong, love it. But I really like sharp cheddar cheese, really flavorful cheese. So I could use extra sharp cheese. I could use a milder jack cheese if I wanted, or Gouda, or orange sharp cheese, which I have here to go for that cheese whiz look. So In a bowl, we're going to combine 2 Alka-Seltzer tabs, which I believe is one of these packets. Boom. So here we got 2 of them. That's kind of old school, like that. Don't smell like anything. Okay, that combined with a 1/4 cup of water. Ooh, fizzers, look at that. So it's releasing CO2, water, and creating sodium citrate. Now we're gonna let this fizz for about 1 minute until the Alka-Seltzer is completely dissolved. So while our Alka-Seltzer is doing this thing, we're gonna shred some cheese. I'm using sharp cheddar, and I am opting to go with this root, which is the hand shredded root. I don't know why it took me so long to figure out what I was trying to say. But so it goes. So this is, I think, going to be about a 1/2 block of cheese. We want 1.5 cups. Oh, I love cheese. That looks about right. Yeah, it looks like a 1/4 block. I can't resist. Every time I shred cheese, I'm like, so good. All right, our reaction looks to be pretty much done. I've never tasted Alka-Seltzer before. What's it taste like? Salty. Now we're gonna use some butter. 2 tablespoons. And this happens to be unsalted butter because there's plenty of salt in the cheese and in the salt, the sodium citrate. So butter in there, and now we're gonna microwave this for 30 seconds just to get the butter incorporated. 30 seconds, go. So after about a minute of microwaving, the butter is melted in our Alka-Seltzer solution, which contains sodium citrate and water. Now we're going to add 1.5 cups of shredded cheese. Cup, generous cup, and oh yeah, this is going to be perfect, and 1/2. Yeah, that's it. It's about a 1/4 block of cheese, and that was a 1-pound block. Okay, stir that in. And then we're going to microwave this again at 30-second intervals until everything is melted and gooey. And it already is beginning to emulsify. Look. But that's not what we're looking for, is it? All right. Into the microwave. Whoa, look at this. It poofed up like big time. So just took it out of the microwave, and now we're going to whisk. Okay, yep. Do you see that? That's it. Beautiful and luscious and hot and totally melted. Okay, right now it's hot. So we're gonna let it cool a bit. And it's a little foamy. We're gonna let it chill out. Oh my gosh, look at that. Yo. Look how beautiful and creamy that is. Totally emulsified, right? No chunkage. So smooth and gorgeous. Oh, perfectly ooey gooey. Wow. Beautiful. So apparently this will thicken as it cools too. Make sure you give it the full amount of heat so it gets totally melted. We don't want any lumps in this whatsoever. And so I gave mine a total of probably about 50 seconds. And it is gorgeous. So smooth. I'm gonna let this cool a little bit, and then we're gonna pour it on some tortilla chips. Actually, we don't need it to cool. I think it's totally pourable right now. So pile some chips onto a plate, or we could just dip too, but oh man, I should have some pickled jalapeños. Those are the best. All right, I'm gonna try this one-handed, see if I can do it. Ooh-wee. Oh my, look at that. That looks delicious. So shiny and glossy. Gorgeous. All right, my lovelies, it's finally time to taste this. Look at that. Look how amazing that looks. This one right here. Are you lots of cheese person or a little cheese person? Okay, let's go for that. All right, my lovelies, Alka-Seltzer and cheese. Mmm. Delicious. Creamy, rich, salty. Definitely salty. Use unsalted butter if you have it. Fantastic. Rich. Melted to perfection. Has a really great cheesy flavor, meaning it has that nice sharpness that I love about cheddar cheese. Sharp cheddar cheese. It's a little bit more potent, a little nuttier. If you don't like sharp cheddar cheese, you can use mild cheese, or you can use extra sharp cheese. Extra sharp white cheddar if you like. So good. And for the fraction of the cost. An entire block of cheese was about $5. I used a quarter of that, so $1.25. Alka-Seltzer was $5, and there's enough to make 12 batches. So a good way to save some money and make an excellent cheese sauce. Just really need some sliced pickled jalapeños. Then it would be just sublime. All right, my lovelies, there you have it. That's how you can make your own ooey gooey cheesy sauce in less than 5 minutes using a very unconventional ingredient. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! When I first heard about this, I'm like, is that the stuff they use to clean dentures? They don't use it to clean dentures, right? No. Upset stomach relief. I'm thinking of Pepsodent.